Nuggets fall to the Thunder 112-105 in a brutal loss that the Nuggets had the win. What happened? Let's break it down. You're watching CS 105.1, where I talk about sports with good vibes. Let's get it. How's it going, everyone, and welcome. I'm CS Chandler, here for another take of Nuggets basketball. So it was Game 5 tonight, Nuggets versus Thunder. Series was tied 2-2. One of these teams was going to head into Denver up 1, and the other one down 1. And it just unfortunately happened to be our Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets controlled most of this game, and they just couldn't capitalize on the fourth quarter woes. So the starting lineup, though, for at the beginning of the game was the typical matchup. Like I've said before, this is probably going to be the matchup that we see. So Jokic, AG, Jamal Murray, CB, and Michael Porter Jr. The Nuggets were wearing their blue City Fast Break jerseys, and the OKC were wearing their white jerseys. And once again, that final score for the Game 5 Thunder win was 112-105. So what happened in this game? Let's get a breakdown here. So Thunder controlled the tip immediately out of the first quarter here, and Chet gets a 3 for the first points of the game. Nuggets can't get a bucket as SGA gets Thunder up by 5. Nuggets battle over the 50-50 ball as Jokic gets a layup to get the Nuggets on the board finally. And then J-Dub opens an 8-point lead with a 3. The Thunder was pretty good from 3 tonight. It was pretty frustrating. They made some clutch threes that was just left you really angry at the Nuggets defense. Hartenstein gets an uncontested dunk to gain a 10-point lead and forces Adelman to take the first time out of the game. That's another aspect that the Thunder are just killing us with is Hartenstein. He is getting floaters, and that damn floater, man. Oh my God. Like, that is just killer right now. I can't stand his freaking floater. And then he's also getting these dunks. Same thing with Chet Holmgren. That bag of bones is just going straight to the rim and dunking it. And it's really freaking frustrating to see all this shit. Finally, Jokic assists to AG, ends the 10-0 run that the Thunder had. AG gets fouled by J-Dub and gets a chance at a 3-point play, misses the free throw though. Then Murray gets a layup, making it a 4-point game. Chet crashes the glass to get back to 6. That's what I'm telling you. Chet, Hartenstein, both. Like, that's the one frustrating thing about Thunder is they have 3 bigs. That's one thing that I don't think is talked enough about right now with Jokic's bad games. It's not that he's really having bad games. It's that the Thunder have 3 decent players that are all huge. They're either as big as Jokic or if not bigger, and they're just basically wearing him down. That is their entire goal, is to continue to wear him down, and they're being very successful. No one else has 3 bigs that they can actually use. They have maybe 2, and unfortunately Denver only has 1 big. So that's the bare bones of everything right there, is just that Thunder are wearing Jokic down. Luckily it didn't work so well this game, but when you have Chet crashing the glass, you have Hartenstein crashing the glass, you have J Will crashing the glass, like all these guys. And then where's AG? Where's Michael Porter Jr.? Where are you guys? You need to box out that freaking paint. You guys are technically stronger than them. I mean, anyone is stronger than Chet. He is just a bag of bones, and yet he's asserting his way just because he's 7 foot and he can lean into you a little bit. Like, make him break a hip again. God. So Jokic then gets a bucket plus the foul at another chance for a 3-point play and then makes it. CB gets a steal, and MPJ on a fast break gets a dunk to make it a 1-point game. MPJ gets a steal, and CB with a 3 gets Nuggets their first lead. Then J-Dub gets a floater and cuts it to 2. CB then gets another 3, makes it a 5-point game. Caruso responds with a 3, knocks it back down. J-Dub ties the game with a bucket at the baseline. And then P-Watt hits a big 3 to get the another lead by 3 as the Nuggets win the first quarter 28-27. Very tight first quarter, as most of these quarters have been, except for that game 2. Second quarter, the non-Jokic minutes, Nugs opt for a lineup of Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, P-Watt, Brody, Strother, and Nuggets start off with a turnover. Luckily, OKC can't convert as Murray gets a floater for the first points of the quarter. Then Wallace gets a steal and a bucket, plus the foul, misses the free throw though, luckily. And then AG gets a turnaround jumper. Murray sinks a 3 to gain a 6-point lead. Chet gets a bucket and the foul, misses the free throw. SGA hits a mid-range jumper to cut the lead to 2. Then Jokic checks back in at the 8:08 mark. Strother from an assist by Jokic knocks down a 3. That is his only bucket of the night. It was really frustrating he was giveth and taketh in that whole stint. And unfortunately, he took too much and didn't give enough. Edelman withdrew him and he didn't play the rest of the game. But Jokic then assists to himself, which was a great play, off the glass for a bucket to gain a 7-point lead, forces OKC to take a timeout. Then OKC gets back-to-back buckets to cut the lead to 1. Jokic gets back-to-back buckets himself to gain the lead back to 6. Jokic definitely controlled this game. It was great to see him have a bounce back good game, I should say. Jamal with a reverse layup gives Nuggets their largest lead of 8 and the first to 50. Then Murray at the line gets Nuggets up by 10. Then Jokic sinks a 3 to gain an 11-point lead. OKC responds with back-to-back buckets to cut it down to 7. And then SGA baits Murray into a foul while driving to the rim, gets the bucket plus the foul, cuts the lead down to 4. But Nuggets still win the second 28-27. That's crazy that the first 2 quarters were the exact same pointage. Nuggets with 28, OKC with 27. I didn't realize that until just now. That's crazy. Nuggets were still on top, 56-54, 2-point game going into the half. Third quarter, has been the Nuggets' best quarter so far, and it really gives you hope. So Nuggets start off the quarter with Murray missing, and then SGA gets to the rim, ties the game, and gets the first points of the quarter. Jokic responds with a 3. Then Hartenstein gets a dunk plus the foul, makes it so he ties the game again. And then Jokic gets Nuggets back up with a floater. Murray gets a reverse layup plus the foul, makes it to get the Nuggets up by 5. Jokic knocks down a 3 to get Nuggets up by 4. Then Murray knocks down a 3 to get him up by 7, but then Dort responds with a 3 to cut it back to 4. And this was where they basically were trading buckets back and forth, and so Adelman actually called a timeout. However, Murray before that would knock down another 3, get it back to 7, and then Murray gets a little flurry happening, gets the lead up to 9. AG knocks down a 3 to get the Nuggets up to 12, and that is the largest lead the Nuggets had in the third quarter, giving us all hope that we were going to go back home to Denver to a 3-2 series lead. However, Chet goes to the line, makes 1 of 2. OKC gets the rebound. That was a frustrating play right there. No one boxing out. I think it was Jay Will got the rebound and then the bucket for a 3-point play. Jokic, however, stops a 5-0 run. And then Jokic on a second chance gets a floater to get the Nuggets lead back to 11. And then Caruso's frustrating making threes cuts the lead down to 8 once again. Nuggets win the third quarter 30-24. So a much better, quarter. However, we're up by 8, and the Thunder then go and crush us in the fourth, as they've been doing. It's just so frustrating to see how bad the Nuggets are playing in the fourth quarter. A lot of them are saying it's fatigue. Players aren't going to say that it's fatigue. They're going to say, no, we're in this, but they definitely look a little gassed. And so that is a little bit on Edelman, because in the fourth, Jokic stays in. He doesn't rest. There was no resting, not even for a minute in the beginning. They start Jokic in the fourth. He stays in. And the rest of the lineup is AG, Brody, Piwatt, and Murray. OKC starts off with Caruso going to the line for two, makes both for the first points of the quarter. Then Brody gets fouled on the other end, makes both, gets Nuggets on the board. And then Piwatt gets a steal, and Piwatt gets tied up in a jump ball. However, he gets the ball to the Nuggets, and then Murray isn't able to convert. He misses the bucket. OKC with the rebound. And then Dort hits a three, cuts the lead down to 6. And then he hits another three, cuts it down to 5. Another three, cuts it down to 2. 3 back-to-back threes from Dort, who had been missing the entire series, these threes. Now all of a sudden he's hot. And there was also one part where he completely flopped. He flopped, and then Jokic saw that, and so he one-upped him and got the foul on the other end. But man, Dort is so frustrating. He is such a dirty player. Like, he shouldn't be in the NBA. He should be in the NFL with his body. And to see how big he is and getting knocked to the ground, like, come on, man. No one can knock you down. You've got the body of a football player. Stop with your flopping. It's so freaking ridiculous. I hate Dort. I absolutely hate him. I can't wait till he's no longer a basketball player, man. He's just so frustrating to watch. J-Dub then goes to line and makes both to tie the game. And then Jokic goes to the line, gets the lead back again. Chet gets a layup to tie the game again. SGA with a layup gives OKC the lead by 2. Jokic ties the game from second chance points. And then Hartenstein gets a dunk to get OKC first to 100 and the lead. And then, so Hartenstein actually gets a foul as well. He has a 3-point play. So they actually are up by 3 at this point. And then Jokic, with an insane turnaround 3, ties the game. It was crazy. Like that, Jokic had an amazing game, and it's so unfortunate that the Nuggets weren't able to win off of his amazing game, because actually he and Murray both stepped up in this game, but everyone else was quiet. And that's the frustrating thing, is that you can't always just go back and forth. Okay, these guys have a good game, and then now these guys have bad games. Like, you all have, this has to be a team effort, Nuggets. Come on. So SGA then sinks a 3 to get OKC up by 6 after J-Dub sinks a 3 that's uncontested. And what's the one thing I've been ranting about all freaking season is the Nuggets leaving uncontested threes wide open. OKC wins the fourth quarter 34-19. Are you freaking kidding me? Come on, Nuggets. Wake up. Stop getting sluggish in the fourth. The fourth is where you can win it, or you can lose it. Obviously, we've lost all fourth quarters. I don't think we've won a single fourth quarter this entire series, and luckily we've been able to manage some wins here, but they just battle back every single fourth quarter. It's really freaking frustrating. OKC again wins the game 112-105, taking the series lead of 3-2. So stats here. You have MPJ, who had 29 minutes tonight, played 29 minutes tonight. He had 2 points, just 2 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. So, not a total horrible game, but offensively it was a horrible game. At least he played some defense. He was 1 for 7 from field. He was 0 for 5 from 3. And then he had 1 turnover, 4 personal fouls. He was a -6. Aaron Gordon played 36 minutes tonight and had only 13 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 6 for 13 from field, 1 for 5 from 3, 0 for 1 from free throws, 3 turnovers, 1 personal foul. He was a 0. Jokic played 44 minutes tonight, the most amount of minutes of any Nugget. 44 points in his 44 minutes, 15 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 17 for 25 from field, a 68 percentage there, 5 for 7 from 3, a 71%, 5 for 5 from free throws, 2 turnovers, 4 personal fouls. He was a -8. You had that awesome of a game from Jokic and yet lost the game. Brown had 43 minutes and 8 points, only 8 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 3 for 12 from field, 2 for 8 from 3. He had 1 turnover, 1 personal foul. He was a -11. And the thing that's kind of frustrating right now with CB is that he's had several bad games now. I think like 2 or 3 bad games. And each one, he shows that how upset he is and frustrated, and you feel like he's going to play better the next game, and yet he doesn't. And he even says, we'll be better. I'll be better. And then he's not. Jamal Murray, 41 minutes tonight, 28 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. He had 1 block, 10 for 27 from field, 3 for 13 from 3, 5 for 5 from free throws, 4 turnovers, 4 personal fouls. He was a -5. And then the bench obviously didn't give us anything except for Westbrook had a steal. P. Watt had 2 steals. Even Julian Stother got a steal in there. No one got blocks except for Christian Brown and Murray. And then the percentage was horrendous for the bench. Those are the only 3 bench players that played too. That's an issue. You got to play more, Adelman. You got to play more of our guys if you plan on making sure that they're not gassed in the end there. So overall stats, 49 rebounds to their 43. We out-rebounded them. We had 20 assists to their 23, so they out-assisted us. We had 10 steals to their 7. We out-stole them. And they had 6 blocks, and we had 3. We shot 41% from field. They shot 50%. We shot 28% from 3. They shot 41%. So there's a big issue right there. 92% from free throws, 78% from free throws for OKC. Then we had 15 turnovers. They had 14. We had 22 personal fouls. They had 16. That also was an issue. The foul baiting that happens from OKC. You have SGA, the super grifter of, free throw merchant of all free throw merchants, followed shortly afterwards with Dort, the biggest flopper now that I can, he's just as bad as Embiid. What are you doing, Dort? Come on, stop it. So my big takeaway right now, this was another game that the Nuggets should have won. Another game that was lost in the fourth quarter. But that is not my biggest issue. My biggest issue, though, is how this series is being covered by the national media. Everyone talks about how the games the Thunder lost, they should have won, and the Nuggets are lucky to be where they are right now. That's been how the Nuggets have always been covered, and the hate that the Nuggets receive from media is gross. I don't care that OKC is the 1 seed. I absolutely don't care. They aren't as good as of a team as everyone says they are. They've walked to the 1st seed. They have not earned the 1st seed. They walked to it because several other teams were not good enough, except for Denver. Denver has been the one consistent thorn in their side. So when they play the Nuggets, they fold. These 2 teams are pretty fairly matched. Before tonight's game, they were 4-4 in the last 8 matchups. And after game 6, they will be 5-5. Stop disrespecting the Nuggets and give them more credit. Just as the Thunder should have won those games they lost, so should the Nuggets have won the games that they lost. There was only 1 game that wasn't a fair matchup, and other than that, these teams have been equal. OKC won tonight. Yeah, big deal. But they will lose in Denver, and this series will go to a game 7 because the Nuggets are a good team. I guarantee you. So the next game is on Thursday. Game 6, 5:30, ESPN. It's a 5:30 West Coast time, 6:30 tip-off in Denver, in the Mile High there. So ESPN, though, again, Unfortunate, but it is what it is. And then we'll hopefully have a game 7. I really think that we will have a game 7. I don't think the Nuggets will lose 3 in a row. I think they will definitely make this a game 7, and then game 7 is pretty much up in the air. I don't think that this is a for sure win for OKC. I just don't. I haven't seen enough from them to say like, oh yeah, they are the dominant team. They aren't. They just aren't. You can see how sloppy they were tonight. The Nuggets got several steals, and it's just the fact that they weren't able to capitalize on so many steals or turnovers from the Thunder that allowed the Thunder to come back. But the Thunder are not as good as everyone says they are, and it's just glazing. That's all I see is just glazing. The best team, actually, other than, in my eyes, the Nuggets, because I still think the Nuggets are a great team. The other team that I would say that actually deserves the credit they are getting right now are the Pacers. They totally wiped out the Cavs, the rightfully 1 seed. They totally wiped them out. And then the Knicks are not getting enough credit either. And that's an interesting thing because they are a big market team, and yet they're the only big market team that gets consistently disrespected by the media. And so I hope, I really do hope the Knicks win against the Celtics, and then it's Knicks and Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals rematch from round 2 of last year. And I hope the Knicks win and go to their first finals in a while. And then hopefully the Nuggets can pull this win off against OKC, head into the Western Conference Finals, where I mean, it's looking right now like the Timberwolves are going to win their matchup. And so then that will be a rematch from last season as well of round 2. So it'll be an interesting story, I feel like, and I hope that it happens. So that's pretty much all I got for this episode. I know it wasn't too positive, but I want to stay a little positive at the fact that I just think that the Nuggets are going to bounce back. I know they had a bad should have won game in game 4. Now they had another bad game that they should have won in game 5. They will not have 3 back-to-back game losses that they should have won. The series is not over yet. Now it's do or die, and it's in the mile high now. So Nuggets are going to win. It's going to go into 7-game series. Let's keep the hope alive. We believe, Nuggets Nation. We believe. So thank you for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe. Share it to your friends and family. And you've been listening to CS 105.1, where I talk about sports with good vibes. We'll catch you later.